Time to pour yourself that second glass of wine because we have yet another story for you. Should Susan Smith get paroled in 2024? All right, y'all, welcome back to True Crime Producer. I'm your host, Chantal. Let's take a look at what we have today. So this one is a doozy. This is the story of Susan Smith. Just a little bit of backstory. You probably have heard of her before. She's currently serving a life sentence for the 1994 murders of her children. It was a deeply tragic story from the get-go. She was only 22 years old when this happened. She let her car roll into the John D. Long Lake with her two sons, one of whom was 3 years old and the other was just 14 months. They were strapped into the back seat and they drowned to death. She apparently was watching as the vehicle sank into the water, which is difficult to imagine, a mother, especially such a young mother, doing something like that. But what really sensationalized the case was after the murder, she told the police that a black man had carjacked her. And after this new addition, it became national news. Everyone was wondering, is she telling the truth? If so, who is this absolutely insane person who would carjack a car with two young children in the back and drive into a lake? It just seemed like a horrific story, obviously. Eventually, Susan then admitted while she was on the stand, actually, that she had killed her children. She said that she suffered from postpartum depression and that her intent was always a murder-suicide. However, she backed out of the suicide part of that path and sat back and watched as her kids drowned in front of her. She apparently had written that she was not feeling like herself that day, which is what led to this murder-suicide attempt.
Susan Smith is finally giving her side of the story in a letter written to newspaper reporter Harrison Cahill from her South Carolina jail cell, 20 years after she was sentenced to life for killing her two sons.
I am not the monster society thinks I am. I'm far from it. Something went very wrong that night. I was not myself.
Now, in a very shocking twist of events, Susan appears to be an incredibly popular inmate, and by popular I mean with men. She has right now at least 8 men courting her, many of whom are offering their assistance should she get paroled in 2024, which is a possibility. They're saying that, she can borrow their car, she can move in with family members, but the one that's really got people talking recently is one of the men had been talking about starting a family with her, and she had said, she thought she would be a really good stepmom, which is obviously quite difficult to hear and to understand. She's now in her 50s, so many years have passed, but there's no denying that she murdered her 2 young kids. So the idea that she could be a good stepmom or somebody would, get to know her and think, this person could be a good stepmom, it seems quite outlandish, to say the least. So this actually isn't Susan Smith's first brush with popularity with men, actually. Several years ago, an artist by the name of Tom House wrote a song entitled I Love Susan Smith.
I'm in love with Susan Smith, and I'll take care of her.
I've listened to the song a couple of times, and I think it seems to be more like a parody to me. I don't know how seriously he's taking it, but she's clearly popular, or was popular enough to have somebody write a song titled I Love Susan Smith. I don't know about you, but I haven't had many songs titled something like that about me. Why do we do this? Why are some people so attracted to somebody that has done something so horrible? Which is just interesting to think about. Do you think it's crazy that she could envision herself being a good stepmother after doing what she did? Do you feel some sympathy for her, maybe? That, she was clearly a young woman suffering from intense postpartum depression. She must have had some other serious mental illnesses going on to do what she did. And now, does she deserve a second chance? Would you feel comfortable leaving somebody like this around your kids? I'm curious to know what you guys think about this topic. That's it for us today. Thank you for joining us. We hope to see you in the next video. Bye.